Hey, I got good news. I finally filled another sketchbook. Bad news are, despite having filled over 15 sketchbooks so far, this one was the toughest to fill to this date. It took me twice as long as usual to get it done. But I made it, and I'll let you be the judge of it. No, please be nice. Welcome to Sketchbook Tour 15. It's barely holding it together, but it survived. It's a moleskin sketchbook. In theory, it's got 104 pages, but I had a really bad idea and added some additional pages to the front, which then caused it to, well, nearly fall apart. It took me exactly 1 year to fill this sketchbook, June 2024 to June 2025. Usually I'm a lot faster, but we'll talk about that in a bit. Let's get started. We're diving straight into a summer full of traveling. Sponsored by my now empty bank account. I met up with friends in Oslo and we spent our first day at the pier, chatting, swimming, eating snacks, and I was sketching the things we've brought. And it was wonderful. The next day we did a small tour through the city, and obviously we had to stop by the art store where I completely gave in and bought this pen roll thingy that turned out to be a good investment. Well, it was kind of cheap, but still. And we also ate lots of cinnamon buns. With a couple of beautiful stops in between, we traveled from Oslo to Bergen, and I absolutely loved it. The first motif was such an easy pick. Wonky houses have a special place in my heart. They've got so much character and they're just oozing stories. So, of course, I tried sketching the Bryggen Harbor district, but I wasn't quite happy with it. I didn't manage to finish it on location, and I wanted to meet up with my friends again. I ended up finishing this sketch around April, which is what the second date is for. I also really wish I didn't add color, but we're always smarter in hindsight. The next day, I sketched for about an hour in a really cute wonky alley, but it was quite the awkward spot to draw at because there were so many people passing by. After this spread, I kind of started to struggle a lot. But next we took the ferry to Stavanger, where the actual reason for coming to Norway was taking place. Rover Way Scouts camp, where I was going to help take pictures for 2 entire weeks. And let me tell you, they were the best 2 weeks I've had in a while. But before that, I visited the Iron Age Farm open-air museum and sketched one of the longhouses they recreated on their original foundations. People lived there over 1,500 years ago. So cool. I really liked that I used a skinnier pen for once, which forced me to draw a lot more detailed. And the next drawing I made turned out terrible. I was not focused at all, but really wanted to sketch. It was such an awesome location as well. These giant swords that literally look like real-life concept art are a monument which marks the battle that united Norway. To brighten up this spread, I added a postcard with my friend Robert's autograph and picture. The next time I sketched was in August when going on a road trip to Slovenia. Passing through Italy first, we had to see the Dolomites. First sketching stop was Lago di Lando. And this page is truly one of my favorites. And I know what you're thinking, but what about the I struggled part? Well, what actually made a location was this barely visible, low-effort sketch, and once again, I had to finish it about a year later at home from a photo. The next sketch I did on the night's camping spot. It was at sunset and the mountains turned all wonderfully orange and pink. The whole atmosphere was so magical. But I ran into the same problem here. I finished this sketch a year later, and here you can actually see the abandoned camping spot sketch. And maybe you're starting to see the pattern, or better, the pile of unfinished sketches. We finally arrived in Slovenia, and I sketched some random camper van, tried sketching my friend. However, despite wanting to draw, it just didn't really work. It was way too hard for me, and I was lacking the mind space for it somehow. The unfinished and empty pages were kind of dragging me down at this point, especially knowing that I might never come back to sketch these places felt super frustrating. But then things got worse and my sketchbook got drenched in water by accident. But luckily the sketches survived and the heat dried it really quickly. Looking to escape the heat, we decided to go visit Postonia Caves, which I have to share clips of, despite only sketching something tiny in my messy sketchbook. Which was another reason why sketchbook 15 felt so scattered, by the way. I had started a small messy sketchbook earlier in the year and was filling it at the same time. And later that year, I was also still finishing sketchbook 14, which made it 3 sketchbooks at once, which really was not ideal. And of course, we couldn't pass up on visiting the nearby Pregiama Castle, which I also enjoyed a lot despite the heat. But to keep this real, I was in fact dripping sweat as I sketched this, which was far from great. But this time, inspiration got the better of me as I arrived in prop heaven. I'm still trying to explain why this sketchbook bothered me so much, because I knew I had to go back in the end and finish all of it. Otherwise, I couldn't really move on to a new sketchbook with a good feeling, which, yes, is probably a bit dramatic, but that's just my brain doing its thing. I really loved how these weapon sketches turned out, and I got a bit over-optimistic. And I tried sketching the castle from the outside, but I really didn't like the result, and I'm gonna blame it on the pen. It had bad vibes. No, but really, I do think the line suffered a lot because the pen's nib was not really crisp anymore. It was fuzzy. The top is also really busy, but also there's not really a good composition happening. Anyway, next stop of the trip was Ljubljana, which I have to go back to and sketch properly. It was so beautiful, but also so hot. So we mostly just existed in cafes all day, just trying to survive. So surprisingly, I was really happy about this drawing of my breakfast, which was super delicious. I also made lots of messy sketches in my tiny sketchbook that day. If you're curious, you can go and check out that video next. It's linked in the description. Or subscribe so you don't miss out on any other sketchbook tours. I do think I kinda got off on the wrong foot in this sketchbook, but I did eventually turn things around, and looking at it now, it looks really nice because most of the gaps are now filled with new sketches that I added in the end, like these flowers, which I love a lot. I really enjoyed making these, and I like the vibe of this chunky black fine liner look. And here we've got a pencil tree study. I remember sketching this to wind down in the evening, and it was so nice to focus on details for once. And eventually I filled the page with these fun, weird flowers. Speaking of fun, just like the year before, I attended a 2-week concept art workshop in Czech Republic. We also went sketching outside, and I made one of my favorite pages. The loose tree with these super fine lines make me really happy. And of course, wonky houses. This water lily pond is a bit meh. I know what I wanted to make, and it just didn't turn out how I hoped at all. But what a beautiful place it was. Trying is always good though. It's different from not finishing a page, because I did finish it, and I learned from it, unlike all the previous sketches that I just ditched when it got difficult. Some more wonky houses, because comfort zone is always nice when things don't work. This spread is also on my favorites list. Especially with the map glued in the corner. After 2 weeks, it was time to leave this magical place, and we headed back to Prague and met with some other artists to sketch at the zoo. But, oh boy, My brain was dead and my social battery completely drained. I sketched some potato penguins and, yep, you guessed it, added the flamingos a whole year later. Despite being very chaotic most times, I love neat things and I do not like empty pages and I really hate not filling it in chronological order. In September, things started to turn around and I sketched these cute tigers from reference. But don't get me wrong, whatever you do in your sketchbook, I totally support. Having my sketchbook be well organized in a way makes me happy. I also founded my own sketch club and hosted a first sketching meetup and people actually showed up. It was super nice. I didn't end up sketching a lot because I was super nervous. Some more studies. And then, a spread from the best place ever. Let me be excited for a second. THU is such a wonderful event. A whole week in Portugal filled with so many artists, inspiring talks, workshops, people I really admire, a lot of amazing art, and most of all, a wonderful creative community. Exactly what I needed after feeling a bit down about how my sketching summer turned out. I made these at an 8 a.m. beach sketching session and it was such a chill atmosphere. Lots of laughter, sunshine, lovely artist friends. Apart from the nice memory, I also enjoy how loose the sketches turned out. And I even added people that turned out kind of okay. Some drawings from a second sketch club meetup, and a flyer that I designed for a small market I helped organize. In November and December, I barely sketched because I took an online digital painting class with Lea Pinto, whilst also getting videos out and selling at 3 markets and running out of money, which kind of stressed me out a lot. At this point, I was exhausted. And nothing is better to recharge than going to the mountains over Christmas. Not really a fan of this page though. It's another no energy but through anyway kind of thing. I just don't think I did the view justice at all. This is also what bothered me so much about all the unfinished travel sketches. I was sad knowing that I didn't manage to capture these beautiful places and memories. So that was another reason for me to at least try and finish them. But please know it's totally okay to have empty pages. You don't have to go back and fill them. That's really just a me thing. And luckily in every sketchbook, there's only one authority, and that's the artist filling it. So it doesn't matter to me what others do, or vice versa. It shouldn't matter to you what I do. Everyone has to figure out how to make things work for themselves. Sketch those trees on a walk. I love drawing trees. They are very fun. So I headed off to sketch some more trees. Listening to a great audiobook. Life is good sometimes. And ta-da! Here's me, happy in the woods. Where I should go more often. By the way, I'd love to know, do you enjoy these extended edition sketchbook tours, or should I add less behind the scenes next time? To be fair, this one includes a lot of stuff that was supposed to be for other videos, which then never happened, so I had a lot more footage than usual. I do enjoy showing you the inspiration and places behind the pages too, but I guess I could make a speed flip-through version with no yapping, no extra stuff, if people would like that. I don't know, what do you think? The next day we went on a walk down to the valley, and I didn't sketch anything. But it would have been a crime not to show you this cute cat video I took. I'm pretty sure it's telling you to leave a comment, like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video so far. More doodles and some wonky studies. Oh, here I was at the Drink and Draw and they had these small toy cars on the table and I drew some. I love how wonky this one turned out. The next one was really fun too though. 3 spreads in one night was a very efficient evening. I drew this tower in a frozen lake I visited and added all the sea stuff a couple months down the line. I really like this though, quite different to the other things that I drew so far. I felt like most things I sketched in 2025 turned out so much better than the 2024 sketches. Life got a bit more calm for a moment and it left me with so much more energy to sketch, and it showed a lot in my sketchbook. I made way more art and better drawings too, which was kind of interesting to see. And if the sketchbook was chronological, maybe it would have been more visible for you as well. More sketch club meetups, mediocre sketches. For the record, filling any sketchbook is a huge win, no matter what's inside or how you got there. Oh, this page. I really had a vision, but nothing worked. The collage snippets I used were coated and glossy, so my color pencils just couldn't hold onto the paper. I really want to try this technique again though. It might not look like it, but I think it has potential. Some pretty business cards. Ooh. Love these lemons and bananas here. They have good shapes. I don't know what this is, but I really like the apple a lot. Flyers of some events I've been to. Stickers of friends. A portrait sketched at another drink and draw, and lots of trees from a Landscapes webinar. These were so fun, and I felt really inspired. I was so happy with this portrait study I painted. It's acrylic paint and some acrylic markers, and I wanted to continue and also paint a fish, but then I just left it at the underpainting, which I think looks kind of funny too. I also like the color matching that's happening with the fruit stickers. I got new pens at the art store, so I had to test them. I loved the colors I chose, except for this khaki green that was way darker than the cap. This was an urban sketching session in Aarau. It was so chill. I made some cute sketches, I think. I wish I didn't use such a bright red marker on the middle house though. It's kind of distracting. Here I played around with neocolors. The apple is my favorite. And she has different size eyes. Whoops. And more neocolor studies. So happy with these. They are so vibrant, and more matchy fruit stickers. And I absolutely had a blast. This spread I filmed too, but honestly, it's really rather low on the list of pages I like. So I scrapped that video. And I was very off my game when trying to sketch birds, apparently. Ooh, the next spread I like a lot too. In hindsight, I would have colored the flowers differently, make them match more, but it was so fun and relaxing, and I just love color pencils and flowers. Not a fan of the snail. It's kind of distracting because the colors ended up being too dark. Some doodles from our garden and some studies from reference. The colorful one I made with acrylic brush markers. some messy stuff from another sketch club meetup. More messy sketches. Another sketch from Sketch Club. I wish I didn't add the people. It looked a lot better before, but overall it's quite fun. And then I actually drew some random ideas of weird plants. This is something that's still on my to-do list. I want to draw more original ideas and concepts in my sketchbook and not just digitally. For Sketchbook 16, my goal is to avoid skipping pages or leaving things unfinished, or at least not to this extent. And a little spoiler, it's going great so far. I can't wait for you to see it. I think I finally got out of the rough stretch I've been having and actually made some progress. But now I gotta know, which was your favorite page? Thanks for watching, subscribe, see you next time, bye!